Well, speaking of our music department, music is a very important part of the Christmas season, isn't it? After all, this is the most wonderful time of the year. It is the time when we see chestnuts roasting over an open fire. Someone does, and we hear silver bells in the distance as Jack Frost nips at our nose. And so with that in mind, I have asked our multimedia department to come up with a song that conveys the sacredness of this Oh Holy Night. A song that will enable us to answer the question, what child is this who lies away in a manger in a little town in Bethlehem where Harold the angel is singing? So, the multimedia department worked long and hard to find a nice, sacred song that will convey to us the mystery and the magic of tonight. Let's hear it. Okay, whoa. You're not supposed to Google heavy metal Christmas music. Well, you know, though, and by the way, that was a setup. You know, though, there is a little bit of truth behind Deck the Hall. Well, I won't go into that. Because most of the secular songs that you hear about Christmas are about partying. You know, when you take the sentimentality and the syrupy stuff out, it's about having a good time. And I don't think Jesus would object to that. Because Jesus, after all, when he grew up, one of the criticisms of him was that he ate and drank with sinners. And I know for a fact that he did not look like he had digestive problems around that table. He was having a good time. It's said that at least once in his life he went to a wedding, and in his day, weddings lasted 7 days. Feasting and dancing and partying. So Jesus knew how to have a good time. In his birth, we're just simply following in his footsteps. However, and there's always a however, in our society, we have made partying at Christmas time an end in itself, haven't we? We've made it such an end in itself that we have forgotten the reason for partying in the first place. Sort of like those old feuds between the Hatfield and the McCoys. Generation after generation, they'd be fighting. They long ago forgot why they were fighting. They just knew it was customary. And this society long ago has forgotten why they're partying at Christmas time. So if we're going to get to the meaning of Christmas, if we're going to really let this night speak to us, we need to choose music different from that which you just heard. I would suggest that we choose carols tonight and let carols convey to us the real reason we should have to celebrate. For one thing, Christmas carols, when you choose them, help transport you back in time. Help you almost magically take a trip back in which you can see and hear once again what it was like to be with someone you love. When my stepmom was on her deathbed in a hospital, for a few days she was in a coma before she passed at the age of 81. We couldn't rouse her. I guess it was a semi-coma. We talked with her. There was just no response. But one afternoon, when I was sitting vigil with her, I just sang Amazing Grace. And to my amazement, she hummed along. Didn't sing, couldn't sing, didn't open her eyes, just hummed. So I sang What a Friend We Have in Jesus and How Great Thou Art, two of her favorites. She kept humming. And then I got into the Christmas carols, and I remember singing this one.
What child is this who lay to rest on Mary's lap is sleeping, whom angels greet with anthems sweet, while shepherds Christ the King, whom shepherds guard and angels sing. Haste, haste to bring him, Lord, the babe, the Son of Mary.
And so to this day, I'm transported back by my mom's side when I sing that carol, and others come to mind as well, many of whom have gone on. But you know, that carol doesn't just make me feel sentimental. I look back and I remember and relive those times with those very special people in my past. I live it with hope because I know because of the Christ child, we're going to see each other again. And that is the mystery and the majesty of a carol. It gives us hope as we look back because we know we will look ahead. It's one thing it does. Another reason you should choose your Christmas music, I believe, is this, that it helps us deal with those times when we need healing and wholeness. A man named Melik Ceylan is a reporter for the Wall Street Journal. He grew up in Turkey in a Christian boarding school where he learned all the hymns and the carols, went away to the States, and he thought he had left his religion, his church, behind. He went back to Turkey for a visit. While there, he got involved in a serious car accident, was laid up in a hospital, several weeks in the intensive care unit. There he drifted out of consciousness with a high fever, and sometimes as he would drift into consciousness with his head all sweating with fever, he found himself singing Christmas carols. It amazed him. He said that he thought those carols had long been forgotten, but he found an inner Wurlitzer full of them, he said, as he was in that hospital bed. One time, he said that his fever ran so high that a nurse packed his head with an ice pack. He looked over and he saw two other men with bandages on their heads. He was inspired to sing, thusly crowned, "We Three Kings." He didn't know why he was doing it. It just came forth. Then another occasion when a fellow patient was leaving, for some reason, he found himself singing this carol.
Down his sweet head, the stars in the sky looked down where he lay. The little Lord Jesus asleep.